We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everything's working fine now. Try and give us back the some updates if you can. It looks like we got the times compiled, so I'm going to open these up and start saving them here. So, Safley, if you wouldn't mind reading off Lobby A.
Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Where is it again?
Race Director.
Oh, Race Director. Right, my bad. I was looking at a different chat. My apologies. So, starting on the pole for Lobby A is Chile with his second career pole position. He was a 10th and a half quicker than Law West in the Jaguar. That's obviously that would be the best ever qualifying a driver from a Jaguar. Will start up there. Inman will start 4th. Alex Rogers 5th. Nagati 6th. We'll keep an eye out on that championship battle between those two. Kobu, he's got to either win the race or come second in the race to finish 3rd in the championship, but he will start 7th. Beckham will start 8th. That'll be a one position improvement for what he did last week at Spa. Then you've got the two DRE boys, Matty ahead of GPS, the Stick making his return. Then Alex Gaiman, his second appearance in the in Tier A, he'll be 12th. Predj making a second consecutive appearance in Lobby A. And there is Mermaid, the only... oh no, sorry, not the only one, because Stick's the teammate as well. So we've got two Simp Racings there, starting 11th and 14th, and you can see there the gap between pole to last is exactly 1.3 seconds. That's still pretty close, like.
Yeah, that is still super close. I mean, it's Chile, pole. I mean, see, Beckham did move up. I do want to make sure I just tried as I was trying to do everything. Didn't quite get him. Predj, I think this is his second time in Lobby A, so it's a great result for him. Yeah. Everyone, 1.3 seconds between the difference. Lobby A is going to be super close, especially with that long front straightaway. The draft is going to be super big. We're going to see passes going in turn 1, people defending. It's going to be a pretty solid race, I think. As we're going to look over at Lobby B. Let me remove this so you can actually see it here. There we go. So you have Lobby B. We have Jerry Bear on pole position in Lobby B with a 44.7. Dark Nihilus in second. Knox B in third. Excuse me, S. Lucas in 4th, Reno in 5th, Techno Guy in 6th, so not the best qualifying he's had, but I mean, it's also not the worst. GTL MJ Walter in 7th, Defiant in 8th, Hoodstack in 9th, Cro-Magner in 10th, Chris FO in 11th, then we have Pierre with a 3-place grid penalty in 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think there's only 12 races in that long. I think there's only 12 in Lobby C as well. I think 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Looks to be roughly 1.1 between pole in last place and Lobby B. So Lobby B is looking pretty close together.
I think in fairness, Lobby B's been a lot closer than it has been before in terms of qualifying. Yeah, I think I think you were doing the coverage the one thing where you were commentating on what Kobo was doing in that Laguna Seca race. Shall we do the TSC? Lobby C, I mean?
Yes, we should.
So starting on the pole for Lobby C there, you can see Thunderpick, 1:46.130, exactly the same time as FTA. Wiley Coyote will start 3rd, then it's Havoc DK, who was last in Lobby B. I'm just seeing the caddy nearly having a moment off of Repsol. Be careful of that lovely livery, I'm supporting you here. Mini Coden in 5th, Pinkerphone 6th, Manikai 7th, the Furious 2 in 8th, 9th is the Baldy one, Daryl B, Eternicus, and Julius Maximus with a 3 place penalty. I'm guessing from the incident what happened to him at Spa, and that is 12th and last. Only 38 races here tonight. That's like the lowest we've seen.
Yeah. I mean, it's the last race of the season. We have drops around this season, so I mean, I can see some drivers not making this race like Dan's, so it is what it is. I mean, it's the last race of the season. I mean, this is probably our best turnout considering this is the last race of the season. I think we've seen an arc, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it's still solid racing across every tier, over 10 drivers in every race. So, great result from all the guys actually showing up for this. I mean, even though we have 2 drops this season, a lot of these drivers doing their best to actually make the starts of these races regardless of such. That's a pretty good thing to see. I'm proud of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. You know, they all tried their best, and even though, I mean, I mean, it's I don't want to sound harsh or anything like that, but you see, like the drivers at a TSC and all that. I've always said that there's no bad drivers in this field. There's none of them at all. It's just that some of them are more competitive than one another. Then maybe some of them will be taking it up as just for fun, really. But I mean, there's no bad drivers in Lobby C. There's no bad drivers in Lobby B. We're all just really good, clean drivers, and that's what makes it fun and exciting.
That it is, and I do want to apologize for everyone for having to restart the new stream and the audio issues we've had. We have it fixed now, so that's a good thing, and so sorry about all that. And I know it's the last race and everything seems kind of disorganized. Weird things happen from time to time. It's technology, and I do want to apologize for that. So there you can see the tier 8 time still on screen there. But it looks like we're getting stuck checks underway, and it looks like everyone seems to actually no, they have the stuck check wrong. They have it on a rolling start, so they're gonna need to redo the stuck check here.
Down to the one, you silly numpty Chili. What? That's a penalty. Dan, you're second in the points now. No.
But it does look like everyone seems to have gotten away.
Go on, oh, he's gone.
It does look like seems everyone gotten away, so I think our stuck checks are going to look pretty clean here, so hopefully we get the race started pretty soon. And we already gave our predictions, and I guess now is a good time if I'm going to jump back to it, looking at the points actually. So if I'm going to bring up my points again, because we did cover before a little bit earlier how if I can pull it back up, I think I've actually closed it, so it's going to be hard for me to see. But we did mention Thomas TC was actually back on pole position. He's already locked down the Tier B championship. It looks to be Noxby in second place, and I think it's a battle there for that second place, if I'm not mistaken. If I can try to get the thing here. Yeah, there we go. It's Noxby in second place, and actually, pretty far behind is Jerry Bear in third. And I do want to say it's a pretty solid job from Jerry Bear on that Citroen. Jerry Bear is not someone we've seen too much of in the championship, and I'm looking forward to see how well he does come Season 5, and maybe we could see him in Tier A if he can improve, much like Nugatti has for this season.
I think this is Jerry Bear's rookie season, is it not?
It is. He is an amateur, as well as Noxby and Kuger, who were second, third, and fourth place throughout that Tier B championship.
I mean, if you think back to being a rookie and, I mean, how competitive this championship has been, I mean, sitting there third in the championship, I think, you can't be too disappointed at that.
Yeah, that's a solid result. Even Cro-Magnon, who we've seen in Tier A from time and time again, and as we mentioned already before, he's on the pad for this championship, which he's slower on. He's currently sitting 5th place in the championship, and he's actually not too far off the back of Kuger, so depending on how the result is, he could still get a solid 4th place finish in the end of the championship.
Sorry, I was just taking a bit of drink of water there. My apologies. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not a good thing that what happened with Cro-Magnon with the steering wheel early on in the season. There's what on earth is going on here? Oh, this is just stuck check, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, regarding with the problems what happened with Cro-Magnon with the steering wheel, I think for him to be in 5th place, I think he'll take that.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking at Lobby C, it does look like the battle for Lobby C is up in the air, but Predje being in Lobby A and FTA not, I think just his solid result from that right there means that Predje has locked up the Tier C championship.
Yeah, that's like reminiscent of Techno Guy last season when he was in... when he qualified for Spa last season and I got him the Tier C championship, and Fred J is making his second consecutive appearance in Lobby A, so that's pretty much the championship lockdown, even though FTA is going to be starting second in Lobby C, so obviously you get bigger points being in Tier A than compared to Lobby Tier C, so yeah, I think Fred J's pretty much got that title set up as well.
Yeah, and then looking over at our reserves, and this is the battle we're going to need to keep an eye on, because it's Alex Rogers, who's still currently behind Nugatti, but he's looking to possibly end this championship with more points than him. So Alex Rogers currently leading the reserves. Let me just try and get this image here. So there we see Alex Rogers leading reserve with 836 points, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little blurry there. 826, excuse me. Matty too far back to even take away that top of the reserve standings. But that 826 compared to Nugatti's, I want to see, what does Nugatti have? I don't even remember his points now. But they're close. They're really close. And Alex Rogers, while he can't win any championship, he can sure win the reserves rankings, but he doesn't get any prizes or rewards for that. He's just ending that championship with more points than Nugatti. It's putting that asterisk, that little star next to Nugatti's name. It's kind of besmirching that championship a little bit, even though Alex Rogers is a reserve. So that's going to be a battle to definitely keep an eye on throughout the rest of this field. And then looking at our constructors' points, it's Ice-T Racing with 224 point lead over Polestar in second. And I don't think they're going to end up losing that constructors. I mean, it's going to depend on how the other drivers do on the other tiers, but it's looking pretty close. And I think this would be our first season where we have a different driver's champion versus our constructors champion.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Ice-T's pretty much locked up the championship here. Polestar, their drivers, I think it's only Nagati. Nagati's just been really the standout star in that team. We have seen, Predje's also make another appearance, so he could probably do things there, but it's just really been Nagati for Polestar.
That it has, and I mean, Team Apex doing a solid job to hold on to that third place. Actually, they could take that second place from Polestar Team Racing quite easily, depending on how the points end up falling this race. Interstellar quite a ways back in fourth, Simp Racing in fifth, Sandy Balls in sixth. Team, they're called the Kraken, but they're actually called Pleb Racing. Currently in seventh place, and Mission Wano in eighth, and then we have Scudera Powerpuff Girls in ninth. And we're getting a notification that we'll be starting the race here momentarily. There's the good luck coming out. So there we have, the final is now starting. So ladies and gentlemen, get your predictions and tell us who you want to see win, what you think is going to happen there in the chat. And of course, starting this race, I do want to have a good reminder that follow us here on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and check out our merch store at teespring.com. I'll give a link to that at the end there as we're starting the race here. So ladies and gentlemen, the final round of Season 4 about to begin. It's Chili on pole, followed by Law 226, and I believe his best qualifying effort in second. West 308 and Inman GT in fourth. Alex Rogers in fifth. Nugatti in sixth. Kovu in seventh. Beckham in eighth. Maddie in ninth. JPS 10th. Stig 11th. ACZ Alex in 13th. Predje 14th. And Mermaid in 14th. I got him a bit mixed up there. As the lights are coming on, we can see it. How well will Chili get away? Actually, no, it's a rolling start. What am I talking about?
It's this long in the season. We're all pretty tired here. Like, after
yeah, I got a bit hyped up there. Excuse me. It's just we've had so much going on here in the production side of things, trying to get everything sorted out in our mind and on the audio end, and everything kind of gets a bit crossed there. So sorry, this seems a little bit sloppy on our end, but we're trying our best here. So there you see the cars going away for their rolling start. So I think the one to keep an eye on here, it's actually going to be pretty interesting in this rolling start because it's a pretty tight corner. It's actually very short to the start-finish line on the straight. So, turn 16, New Holland. So, you'd think it'd favor the drivers towards the front and not necessarily the back of the pack. But if they're not quite formed up right, it's quite possible a driver at the back might end up getting a little bit of a jump trying to get the acceleration from the apex of turn 16 on that front straightaway. So, and this front straightaway is so long, so it's quite possible we could even see 3 wide going into turn 1.
3 wide? I'm expecting to be seeing 5 wide going into turn 1.
that's going to
this
be
track is too wide to hold in 5 wide. No, I mean, I think the drivers will be more smart than that, just to keep it under there. As you look at it, the GR3 champion and that gorgeous looking livery, Bugatti. I think the drivers on back will probably know what to do. You know, they're pretty smart enough to pretty not jump the start. Although, looking at Mermaid, it's been a disastrous season for Mermaid in that Chevrolet because he was thinking high hopes for this championship for us. So, I would like to see Mermaid up there. He needs a good race. He needs his confidence up here. And I think, Predje too, try and get Polestar up there too, and Alex Game. And, these drivers got a lot to prove here. And, they're no slouch racers there. They need something to prove here after this race here.
We do actually have Thomas TT in chat. He's actually not racing today, but as you mentioned, we already locked up the Tier B Championship and drops are a thing, so he doesn't have to. Back at the front here, it's going to be Chili starting to form up the field, and this is what we're going to need to watch. How everyone's actually going to end up starting to form up. You see some drivers still trying to catch up to the back here. Maybe Chili not doing the best stacking job. Looks like everyone's finally caught up. How will he start the race? And he's underway now. He's underway now. He gets a solid jump on Law, but when the watch is going to be Inman GT currently in third. How will he get the drive? He's looking up the inside of Law. So Inman trying to look. Oh, there's a bit of a touch. It's a dive to the inside. He actually go way off track. That's a big mistake there from Inman trying to take that position. And now he's in the gravel trap and he's going to fall all the way down the field. There's a spin from Kobu.
And it's contact! Kobu!
There's a spin from Kobu 14 and ACC Alex as well. So they were going to see the dive from Inman GT going into here. Breaks a little bit too late, makes contact with Law, has to go to the inside to avoid contact. And then let's see if I can find Kobu here in 8th. What happens to him? Actually, he gets contact from, looks to be Matty and the Stig there, and he gets spinning around, and then that's also going to cause Alex to spin around as well. So let's see if we can get an onboard there from Kobu GT going into turn 1 here. Let's see if we get the onboard view. So here he is trying to go up the inside of Nugatti. And will he abort it? He will. He falls back in line. Then we see Beckham on the outside. So he loses place to Beckham. There's Stig trying to go around the outside. Great move from Stig, and it's just contact with him and Matty. And then, ooh, there it is from behind. He gets a big shunt from behind. Stewards are going to have a lot of work to do on this turn 1 here.
That's not good then for Kobu if he was to go and finish 3rd in the championship. I think with that incident, that's going to hand down 3rd place in the championship. Kobu, you know, will possibly hand that down into to finish 4th in the Lobby A championship. That is not what Kobu needed.
It is nuts there. You can see just with the chase cam there we see Inman going off. There's Matty and Stig side by side. That's the first tap he gets, and then he gets spun around, and ACZ touches him, and then another touch from Predje, and it just a big mess there at the start. So Kobu fall away back and forth. At the front though, it's Chile followed by Law. West 308 moves up into 3rd. There's Alex Rogers currently ahead of Nugatti. Beckham 6th, Matty 7th, JPS 8th, Stig in 9th, Mermaid 10th, Predje 11th, 12th place.
Look at Law to the inside. Law's gone for the lead on Chile, and he's got it. It's El Shakeen, has he?
He goes
right.
Oh, he touches Chile. There's definitely a touch there from Law. Chile and West now side by side with Law. As we look back, excuse me, there, trying to get the right camera view from West, who's actually going to move up into 2nd place there. So we're actually going to get another replay. Law back up, no, diving up into West again. Law wants that position, but now he's going to open the door for Alex Rogers to move up into 3rd.
Indeed he does, yeah, West. But West will have the inside at Seat. Will he keep, he's got the car still side by side. Rogers is going to give him the room. There's a bit of a bump there.
These drivers definitely putting on a show for this last round here at Catalunya.
Nugatti's got nowhere to go in all this.
He doesn't.
Still side by side through West. Oh, West gets a little sideways. Now Nugatti's going to have the inside of camps up on West.
So much is happening. I have a replay queued up of everything here, but it's going to be hard to see. Here comes Beckham trying to look up the outside there, but he can't find a way by. He almost touches there. Everyone's trying to find a way by here in the opening laps.
Look at Matty! Matty's trying to get by in the Quaysar. I thought he was going to make it free abreast, but no. And West holds on to that 4th place. Look at the background. I think Beckham might have lost a spot as well to Matty, and indeed he has.
So I have a replay queued up here of everything I started off to begin with. So let's have a look back here. So actually, no, excuse me, take the right camera here. So here's Law trying to go up the inside of Chile. This is his break-in, so Chile with actually a bit of a lock up there. There we see, there comes West up the inside here after Law makes that. So he's trying to stay up the inside here, side by side. And then we're going to see after this corner here is when
Law's got a penalty. Law picked up a penalty. And he's fallen all the way down to 6th, maybe down to 8th, sorry.
So I'm just trying to get a good replay here of where we see Alex Rogers moving up into 3rd after everything has started to happen. And then even back to here, Nugatti is going to throw himself into the mix.
It's all happening here. Matty was in 6th, he's down to 10th place. I think Law kind of unghosted right in front of the field. And, you know, Nugatti, Matty, Beckham, Stiggy, Stig with a late lunge gets into Matty, makes contact into Law, and that's how Matty got spun around. It's all happening here. This is like an end of season bash, this lateral.
That it is. Everyone's like, the championship is up in the air. Everyone wants to try and get as much time and position and points as they can. And everyone Law from 2nd place on the grid down to 7th. Mermaid up into 6th place currently, so he's definitely gained a lot. Chile's broken away. Alex Rogers into 2nd. I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do to get those points to finish ahead of Nugatti overall. There's West doing a solid job at 3rd. Nugatti 4th. Beckham now 5th. I mentioned Mermaid up to 6th. Law down to 7th. JPS at 8th. Inman up down to 9th after his first corner incident. Then we're going to see Matty into 10th. There's Predje 11th, Stig in 12th. There's a bit of an issue there. We didn't quite catch on the replay. And there's Kobu still in 14th. Actually, he's 8.5. Actually seems to be catching. And one thing we didn't actually do going into the start of this race is seeing what tires everyone was starting on.
Oh no, I'm just getting caught up here. So Chile is on the mediums. Alex is also on the mediums. So too is West. Gatti's on the mediums. Beckham is on the mediums. Mermaid's on the mediums. Looks like everyone is going to be on mediums by the looks of it. Yeah, every driver is on mediums.
Everyone seems to be doing the same strategy here, going for the one stop here, Catalunya. The pit lane here is notably very long, so I can see how the one stop strategy is going to come out on top here. I think I think there's going to be some.
West has gone into second place. He's passed Alex Rogers.
See if we can get a replay of that. Actually, no, it was a bit late there. There are replays. Let's try this button here. Actually, it looks like West trying to defend. Alex Rogers said to dive up the inside. Not quite. Let's try and get the proper replay here going into turn 1. There he is. Just a simple pass up the inside. Alex Rogers lets him by. And West gets that second place. But now Alex Rogers has Nugatti right behind him.
Now then for the all this happening with the championship here. So at the moment, Nugatti currently leads it with 998. Alex is on 986.
So I believe
So
Alex would have to finish 2 positions ahead of Nugatti to get pretty close.
Yes. To get ahead of Nugatti, Alex has to win this race and hope that Nugatti finishes 4th or lower, which Nugatti is at the moment. But if Nugatti stays in 4th and Alex wins, then Alex will win the overall championship. I'll tell you one guy who's made a great start is Mermaid. He's up to 6th place and he started dead last. So Mermaid really on the charge now.
Well, part of that is from other drivers making these mistakes in the opening stages of this race, but he's right in the slipstream of Beckham, which is where you want to be with that Corvette. That Corvette's just got so much torque. It's not going to be too fast in that middle the last sector there, but coming out of this corner, it's going to pull right up to the back of that Supra of Beckham. And there we see Law all over the back trying to find a way by. Everyone trying to break the slipstream, going to the inside here.
And look further back there, Inman, after having that excursion on the first lap, he's also in the thick of this, and he wants to get 8th place away from GPS.
Yeah, it looks like GPS going way defensive the inside. It looks like he's
going to compromise him.
He looks
I
like
thought it was
Oh, here comes Inman up the inside, so it might have actually done that. Inman trying to find a way by, but not quite able. GPS going super defensive here, goes to the inside. Inman's going to try and go around the outside, carry more speed through the braking zone. It looks like in front, Law is also side by side with Mermaid. Here comes Law back up into 6th place.
Yeah, good pass there from Law, trying to recover from the moment there. And I can see that GPS still heavily defending that 8th place from Inman, who's trying to work his way out through the field. So they're moving up there, gaining more points than it is.
Back at the front, though, it's going to be Chile, 2.2 ahead of West in 2nd, and I have to give props to West. He's getting the absolute most that he can out of that Jag.
Well, we had seen some great potential in that Laguna Seca race. He was fighting up there, like in the top half of the table. Don't forget that pass on Alex Rogers around the outside of the Andretti hairpin. You know, I mean, this guy can race. I mean, if he could be racing in this championship, you know, a lot more in season 5, watch out for him, because he could be a dark horse if he competes in season 5.
Just looking on screen right now, we have Matty and his GR3 teammate JPS battling side by side for 10th place. It looks like JPS almost spun Matty there, so I think Matty dove up the inside of the turn 10 like Heiksa, managed to get that 9th place away, but they're good door-to-door battling between the two GR3 teammates. Farther back in the field, you can see, I'm trying to see the front of the stragglers here. There's Predjan 11th, and it looks like ACC Alex and Stig are battling for that 12th spot, and Kobu 4.6 behind. So Kobu's gaining a lot of time when these two as they're fighting. In the last lap and a half, I believe he's gained roughly 4 seconds on these guys. So Kobu now on a hard charge to try and gain as many positions as he can.
Just checking on the last couple of laps here from Alex came in. He's done a 147.6, 147.4 compared to Kobu's 145.5 and 145.5 as well. So he's gaining at least 2 seconds a lap on Alex and Stig.
We see West still 2.1 back behind Chile. So actually West seems to be closing a little bit on Chile, but Alex Rogers having to defend real hard for Nugatti, our Tier A champion for season 4, right back behind him.
We're going to have ourselves a 5-car scrap for 6th place. Law holding up Mermaid, Inman, and then you got the 2 DRE boys coming up close too.
Looking back behind the Sandy Ball Citroen of Law 226, and there you can see definitely the battle starting to form. So Mermaid Well, he was gifted some of these positions at the start. He's having a hard time trying to hold on. There comes Inman looking to the inside.
Oh, here comes
dive
Inman.
bomb move into the hairpin corner. They're side by side. Mermaid gives him room. Does he get the run? Looks like Inman will get it. Bit of a touch there. Oh, and he holds on to that 7th place, but just barely.
Yeah, you've got to earn your way around Mermaid. He's not going to give you the most amount of room, but you know you've got to earn that overtake there to get by Mermaid. But it's going to allow Law to pull away, and now you can see GPS. They're all over the back of that GTR now. Oh, I'm in a little sideways on the exit of the RACC. We'll get the run past New Holland now. So watch Mermaid get this go heavily defensive there to keep hold of that 7th place.
We have a question from Dan's in the chat asking what happened to Kobu. There was a bit of a first corner kerfluffle there that the Kobu just happened to get involved in, as we see Inman going up the inside of turn 1 of Mermaid. Mermaid lets him by, falls back in line, gets the car stopped. So there's Inman up into 7th place during the game back in positions, as well as Law has already gapped out this front pack as well. So 2 of our front runners trying to work their way back up to the field from their first lap incidents.
I think I just noticed their Stig also picked up a penalty, which he bound at the start for the straight. So he's still
trying to stick his nose in through Mermaid there. A bit of a touch, perhaps forcing his way through just a little bit. Let's try and go on board real quick. It's going to be a bit of a dive into turn 4 Repsol. So he gets his nose in. Yeah, there is a bit of a touch there. Not quite halfway alongside. Stewart's going to be looking at that one. But it doesn't look like he got the move done here. He falls back in line. Back at the front, it's going to be Chile. We got West there currently in 2nd. Alex Rogers still in 3rd. Nugatti in 4th. Beckham in 5th. And Law 226 in 6th. Inman GT in 7th. Ooh, as we see, looks like Mermaid and Inman are going to go. JPS and Mermaid. Actually, Mermaid lost 2 positions in that hairpin.
Oh, he did, yeah. The DRE boys, they're literally hounding poor Mermaid there, shuffling him down to 10.
With that dive there on the Mermaid, and actually maybe a bit of contact there from the onboard. Let's see if we can get another replay from Mermaid's point of view on that, because it looks like Mermaid might have, he tries to go in, he sees JPS go for the dive, and now I think there was a bit of contact which forced him out a little bit wider, but I wouldn't say that was on GPS's fault. I think that was more of a racing mistake there.
Out of the 3rd place, the Gaddy's going to pass Alex Rogers going into Elf Chicane, and the Gaddy's up to 3rd place. Go on, the Gaddy! See, that's that livery, that's going to get you up there, like.
Nugatti, our Tier A champion, up to a podium position, 44.5 minutes remaining left at the final round of Season 4. Your Tier A champion in the final spot of the podium, but Alex Rogers, the man who looks to beat him with the overall point score, right behind him. Beckham back in 5th. There's still Law in 226 and 6, and it looks like Inman actually closing that gap to Law.
Yeah, I think Law's losing a bit of ground to Beckham just heading that Toyota. So, yeah, I think Inman is Cat's. Yeah, he's now within slipstream distance of Law, so there could be a battle going on here soon. As Law might have picked up a penalty because he looked like he had all 4 wheels off of turn 8 at Worth. Looks like he's all right though. Going through camps, no penalty sign, so he's all right. But that gap is slowly disintegrating though, with Inman closing up.
You know just how good that GTR is in a straight line. Although it's been nerfed slightly over the course of the season, its handling has been improved. It's still a monster in the straight line. But that Citroen's no slouch either. And this is where you're going to see the Citroen start to pull away a little bit, I would think, here in this final twisty 3rd last in final sector. Look at the gap between Law and Beckham. It's 3 seconds, and it seems to have stabilized a little bit. As we mentioned, everyone on the medium tires, so if anyone's got pace, it's going to come down the driver here. As Inman picks up a penalty, it's going to be a 3-second penalty from Inman.
What happened there? I was looking at Law, and I don't know, what did he do? Did he...
I think he touched chicane a little bit too much, serves his penalty in the zone, and he's going to lose 3 positions because of it. Maybe even 4 with how Predje is coming along here. Inman moves it back across to defend his position. Now Predje goes right by. That's 4 positions. Yeah,
he picked up a shortcut at 10-14. Predje there, he's locked up the TSC Championship, and then he is up in 10th place there. Solid effort this from Predje. Also more points to improve Polestar's chances in the manufacturers.
That is very true. But Kobu's on a hard charge here. He's already passed both Stig and ACC Alex, who I think has another issue based on the distance here. But Kobu on a hard charge here, and is going to set his sights on now the 2 drivers of Inman and Predje in front. So It's going to be pretty close for the Manufacturers' Championship, looking at the looks of things.
Yeah, I think, Kobo's the only driver from Ice-T Racing, isn't he, competed in this, whereas Polestar's got 2. Kind of like a vice versa, because we've mostly seen all the Ice-T Racing boys there in Lobby A, like Thomas, and he's still more recently Darth Nihilus. But it's 2-1 in favour of Polestar, so they've got to take the opportunities here. Craig J's got to drive the race of his life here to get up there and hopefully give them the manufacturer.
He's just taking gobs of time out of Inman GT up in front here. As we mentioned, every driver on the medium, but Kobu on these medium tires in that GTR is an absolute machine right now.
Stick's got a 4/10 penalty. I just noticed there, looking at the back of Kobu's GTR.
Didn't quite
burn well for the Stick
at the exit of Kamsa, so I think he probably would have picked it up at the exit of turn 8, but he didn't get it, burn it through the exit of Kamsa, so might be one to look at. He should burn it here at the start-finish line, though. Let's see if he does.
I was expecting high things at the Stick, so but she does. After that heroic drive in Mons, I thought we would have seen some better things from Stiggy, or if he would improve, but it looks like it hasn't been, especially in the second half of the season. It's not gone all Stick's way, unfortunately.
Yeah, it hasn't. Kobu's still 2.6 behind this battle pack from and back at the front, though. West has cut a lot of time off of Chile. 1.5, 1.6 separate first and second right now.
Just imagine if West was starting a Jaguar, maybe say in a GTR or a Citroen there, he'd be right, he'd be all over the back of Chile now. I mean, he's done extremely well to catch up to him.
He has done very well, but he is also a reserve driver, and the reserve drivers get to choose their car, so he actively chose to go with the Jaguar, and this might be the car he's the most comfortable with.
Yeah, which we have seen before. The Jaguar's not been the best car to choose from, but it just seems that West has got that car dialed in.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's cut even more time out of Chile there, and even more time here, so he definitely knows the ins and outs of that Jaguar. Nugatti's still in third, though. Alex in fourth, and Beckham rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, Alex has made a mistake on lap 9. He did a 147.0 compared to the 45s that he's done. So we didn't pick up on that. And I just noticed that he fell a bit away from Nugatti. Beckham, better. In fact, West and Nugatti are both in.
So going for the undercut here, possibly maybe going for the 2-stop strategy onto the softs, back to the mediums. They have 40 minutes remaining roughly. As we looks like to be JPS also joining them. There you see Mermaid joining them. Nugatti onto the softs. Actually, Nugatti was on the soft tires. Or is he onto the softs now? Nugatti's onto the softs now.
He's onto the softs. I think West just put on a fresh set of mediums. He didn't put any fuel in the car.
So he's saving those soft tires for that final stint. So it's definitely going to be a 2-stop race for some of these cars. And we're going to start on the mediums. Let's have this look and see where Kobu actually managed to come out. So he's actually still out in 8th, so he stayed out this time. However, he's 2.1 back behind Inman, so he actually seemingly... no, he's still cutting down. I was mistaking the gap between him and West with Kobu and Inman GT. So Kobu's still taking a lot of time at Inman GT, even though they're in the same car, on the same tire.
Just gonna type down what the championship points look then after these pit stops. So what is it? Nugatti down in 6th. In fact, Nugatti's all over the back of Law already going into campsite. That's obviously because of the soft tyres that Nugatti's got. So he's got to get by Law as soon as he can. And Law runs right to campsite.
He just managed to hold on to it, but there goes Nugatti all the way by. And it just powers right on by with those soft tires. And there you go, Nugatti up into 5th, 10.5 back behind Chile. He's going to gain a lot of time in this stint.
I'm still trying to type down the points. Like, we've got this database that Cro-Magnon gave to me.
There goes Chile.
I'm still trying to do it. So this might be a reaction to West making a pit stop. Alex is in. Beckham is also in. Chile's changing tyres though.
Yeah, no fuel for these cars. Still 60% fuel. So Chile on the soft tires. Nugatti managed to jump him. Where does West come out? We're going to need to see.
Let's go. We're going to be close. They're going to be very close
into
here.
The braking zone. They're side by side. Does West go around the outside of Chile? Did the undercut work? West still in the mediums, but Chile on the softs. Chile just manages to hold on to the lead.
Oh, wow. And he will pull away from West because he did pit a lap ago, but he stayed on the medium tyres. So Nugatti's going to get by West sometime soon.
That's going to be a rough one for West. West needed to be ahead of Chile if he's on these soft tires. He needed to slow down Chile as much as he could have. So when he jumps to the soft tires, that gap is even smaller. The Ducati all over the back of West now for that second place. West Ducati on the soft tires. See if he gets the run out of turn 7 and 8 here. Quite fairly steady through there. Really close here. He's going to get a run here. Does Ducati go to the inside? Will West go defensive? Does Ducati send up the inside? He does. He still falls in line. Alex Rogers still in 4th. Beckham in 5th. But it looks like Law, Inman, and JPS have actually closed up quite a bit to the back of Beckham there. Where has Kobu gone? He's back in 11th after making his
down to 11th. And Kobu is still on the medium tyres, so he's going for the soft stint late on.
And Mermaid picks up another penalty there. Doesn't burn it on that straightaway yet again, but he actually burns 0.2 of it going into the braking zone here. So the Kobu looking at his tires, he's on the medium tires, and I think he fueled up a little bit in that GTR. So I think that explains why he dropped off a little bit there.
Here comes the Caddy. He's all over the back of the Jaguar. Here he comes. He's going to make a move to the inside, going into the El Chicane. West putting up a little fight for that second spot, but he's going to be a sitting duck here. And I think the Gaddy's going to get the job done and go into second place. Does he? Oh, there's a bit of touch.
He's got the better grip. He does it at the outside, and he's got it.
He's got this. Yeah, he's got it there. So he's got nearly 2 seconds to catch up with Chile, who's also on the soft tyres. So the Gaddy up to second.
Now it's going to be key for West. He has to lose as little time as possible in this stint. So it comes down to, do I save fuel and save time in the next pit stop I make, or do I push the car now and try to keep up on it with on-track pace? What do you think is the right call in that situation? Do you think it's better to save time in the pit stop or save time on track when you're on different tires?
I'd go for the second option, because I think you're going to be quicker than the top two ahead of you. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
We do happen to have Dan's and Thomas TT in chat, so I'm sure they'd be willing to fill us in what the better idea is specifically on this track. Back behind now, Alex Rogers still in 4th, Beckham in 5th, but he's losing a bit of time to Law, who's in 6th. So Law, after his first and second lap kerfluffle there, he's definitely moving up the field. There's Inman still holding on to JPS for the battle for 7th place. There's Maddie in 9th, Mermaid in 10th, and Kobu up into 11th now. I believe he's past Pred J. No, he was already in 11th, excuse me. But he's definitely closing up to the back of the Dutchman of Mermaid.
Yeah, Mermaid's last lap, 146.866. Whereas Kobu's last time is 143. Eh? Oh, that must have been an out lap. Is it? Oh no, look at that. Chile setting the fast lap. 144 and that one. Right there. Solid lap time there. And again, that will smash the lap record too, set by. Was it Alex? No, it wasn't. I can't mind.
I don't remember at this point either, but Kobu within a 10th of Mermaid here, so Kobu definitely on a hard charge. Chile 2 seconds, 3.2 ahead of Ducati. West just outside of a second of Ducati, and I have it here from Dan's in chat. It says on a 2-stop, the best option would be for him to stick with Ducati for as long as possible and just absolutely not care about his tire life, push the car as long as possible, and just try to minimize the time loss on track and then make it up in the pit stop.
And save the fuel too. That is a must there for West. I mean, he is starting to fall away, 1.1 seconds, so he is starting to lose that draft away from the Gaddy.
Ever so slightly, but that Jag, no slouch in a straight line. He's doing the best that he can to try and hold on to him. Alex Rogers still in a very lonely 4th, Beckham in 5th, but looks like Law is closing up the back of him ever so slightly.
Alex is quite far back, nearly 5.5 seconds away from West.
Kobu had the 1 second penalty there.
And he's bound to it can't.
Yep, he's burnt it correctly. That's going to suck because he was right on the back of Mermaid there. He was right in the slipstream, but now he's 2.2 back.
It must have been the shortcut at 10.8. That's how he picked up the penalty.
You're on board with Matty right now, who's all over the back of the GTR of Inman GT. His DRE teammate in front of him in 7th, although they're both, GPS is reserve and Matty's part of Apex, the racing team. So But they're both two DRE drivers and the individual team there. So let's see how well is that GTR compared to the 911 in the straights, and it just pulls away. Looks like there's another close battle going on farther back. Yeah, between Stig and ACZ Alice for the final spot overall. They're still pretty close.
Yeah, they've been constantly battling for like the last 8 or so-ish laps there. It's just a shame it's for 13th place though.
Oh, very wide! Oh, he spins in front of him!
Oh!
I think he just managed to ghost it. Yeah, he just managed to ghost in time.
Oh, how did he get it all wrong at New Holland? That's a flat out corner through there. I must have understeered a lot.
He got on the AstroTurf and just went right off. And then tried to get back on in his spin. I think the game just still ghosted him in time before the damage could calculate. Ooh.
That would have been a nasty accident. That was good catching there, and Lado there seeing that battle.
That's a light flashing right before your eyes moment there for Alex. Chile though, 1.9 ahead of Bugatti. West still in third. Alex in fourth and Beck in fifth, but Law seems to not be able to close up to the back of Beckham. It seems to have stabilized that gap.
Yeah, West is pulling away from Alex Rogers now, nearly 6 seconds. So Alex is, I think his Toyota's not really working around this track here, but he is the best placed Toyota on in this track, with Beckham in fifth and JPS, I believe, in seventh.
Now this is going to be a developing battle we're going to want to watch. Here's Inman actually pulls into the pit lane, so Inman going for the two-stop strategy, it looks like, or one-stop strategy, excuse me. So Inman going to jump to his soft tire stand and try and push his way to the field. Now, one to watch here. I'm on board Kobu because this is now well, it was a 4-car battle in front with Inman, but now it's a 3-car battle as we see Mermaid all over the back of Maddie now after Maddie made the pass onto Inman. So now Mermaid's back in the fight, but now Kobu trying to get in that slipstream and add himself to the mix as well.
Oh, very interesting that Inman has just come out of the pit lane still on mediums. So he's going for a short second stint on his mediums, and then the next stint will be on soft. Very interesting. I thought he would have been possibly pitting the same time as around about when the gap in Chile was.
Up a little bit. I don't know if he's got enough to make it to the end.
Oh, he will definitely have to fuel up in his second stop. I think he put in about at least 25% of fuel in his.
That's going to be one to watch later on. Chile, the gap stabilized. West still only 3 seconds back on Nugatti, so West doing a great job to lose as little time as possible as he can to Nugatti. We expect a pit stop from these two, or all these drivers who are currently on the softs. So we expect West to make a pit stop in reaction as well, jump to the softs in roughly 9.5 minutes time. Alex still in a lonely fourth, Beckham in fifth. Actually, he's gained a little bit of time to Law behind, but not too much. JPS still in seventh. And we see Maddie in eighth. Mermaid 1 second behind Maddie. And there's Kobu closing right up to the back. Kobu on a hard charge here.
Yeah, he's now within slipstream distance of Mermaid there, just under that 1.1 second. But you'll see the power of the GTR compared to the Chevrolet. Even though that Chevrolet's not a slouch on the straight too. He just eats that gap. It's just eating that gap away so much, that GTR.
And it's crazy to think what could have been for Kobu if he hadn't had that first corner incident. It was no fault of his own. I don't know if any drivers never really had a fault. It just happened to be 3 wide at the exit of a corner. So, but I mean, he's worked his way up. I mean, after his spin, I believe he had like an 8-9 second gap between the car and 13th, and now he's sitting in 10th place, 27 seconds off the back of Chile, with cars in front that he's battling with. So, Kobu's doing an excellent job to try and gain as much time and push that car to its absolute limits here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much certain that Chile's going to finish second in the driver's point at lobby 8 points. Dan's and Kobu will finish fourth. But it is still a strong drive for Kobu. I mean, what happened in the first lap, as you said, not his fault. 3 into 1 always never goes, and it's always the one on the outside that's always going to be worse off, and that was Kobu. But he is still driving his heart out there. He's basically doing like qualifying laps every lap is he doing, and he's getting ever closer to the back of Mermaid now.
Going into the braking zone for Turnton Lacaixa. Closes up a little bit more. Now he's all over the back of him. There's going to be the part where the actual this Chevrolet is actually going to struggle here. You can see the differing line that Kobu takes, tries to take a later apex here. That's going to carry more speed through this section. You can see the differing lines, and Mermaid's starting to struggle in his tires a little bit there. He's starting to feel the pressure from Kobu.
Oh, he didn't take 10-14 though that well there. That would have compromised him through 15. And now Kobu all over the back of him. You'll see Mermaid heavily defending this 9th place here. Oh, it's not. Kobu's got the pass done here.
You can see the difference in straight line speed as we go to the side-by-side camera and just how strong that. There we go. Mermaid backs off, falls back into line. Kobu doesn't try to fight him, and Kobu works his way up into the top 10 position. Now goes to set his sights on the Porsche of Matty in front. Back at the front, not much has changed. West has dropped back 4.6 seconds to Nagati over the 3 seconds it was last time we checked. Alex still in 4th, Beckham still in 5th, and actually is gapped out ahead of Law just a little bit, who's still in 6th. Looking for the rest of the field, we have Mermaid, who's now in 10th, Predje, if I press the right button there, in 11th, a lonely 11th. There's Inman GT, who's now on the medium tires, going for a 2-stop, but a differing 2-stop from what we see the rest of the drivers in 12th. ACC Alex in 13th after that scary moment that he had with Stig at the exit of that last corner. "26 minutes remain in this 1-hour race." Let's have a look at everyone's tire wear as we go through. There's Chili on the softs, that's how his tires are looking. There's Nugatti behind him, who's looking a little bit worse for wear on his, but he also has one more extra lap on his tires. There we see West on his medium, so they have less wear than the drivers in front, but that's to be expected because they're medium tires. There's Alex Rogers on his medium, so he still has a set of softs to go to. There's Beckham on his. There's Law on his. There's the JPS on another set of mediums as well in 7th. There's Matty. There's Kobu. Actually, Kobu's tires are looking really solid based on how they are, but I think he pitted a lot later than some of these other drivers, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he pitted on lap 12. Where did Nugatti pit? He pitted on lap 11. So he pitted 1 lap later, did Kobu.
So he's been on the same lap as Chili, but he's doing an excellent job based on how well those tires are looking compared to everyone else in front of him. Let's look at, there's Mermaid's tires. And then we have Predje's. There's Inman GT, but Inman's going for the differing 2-stop, so it's going to be a really short stint on these mediums here, and then jump to the softs for the final stint. There's ACZ Alex. You can see just the left side tires of that Jag are wearing a lot more than the inside rights.
Yeah, it's just pretty much because of the Renault turn 3, and then you got Repsol turn 4. That also wears a lot on the left front. That's what I was saying in the hot lap. It's it's pivotal to keep as much wear on that left front as you can.
Back at the front, looks like Chili's actually gained a lot of time. So Nugatti made a mistake somewhere. Chili's gained roughly a second, and West has cut down his gap by a second. So Nugatti somewhere made a mistake.
He has, yeah, over 3 seconds there. So we'll see what lap times that Chili's done. At the moment, Chili's been doing consistent 144s, like mid 144s. This one was a 145.1. Nugatti did a 146.2, so he lost 1.1 second on that lap.
Currently with the fastest lap, but struggled that last lap. We didn't quite see what happened, but that's going to be a good big thing for Chili and West. So Nugatti not one to make too many mistakes, but when small ones like that happen, it's quite noticeable. Actually, it looks like West has pulled away from Alex Rogers quite a bit. That gap has opened up to almost 7 seconds over Alex.
Yeah, it's been going up steadily. Yeah, the gap between West and Alex Rogers. I think Alex is. I don't think those mediums sort of work around here. As you can see, Alex is. It looks like that's hurt. It looks like he's struggling around this track. I don't know why, but I just don't think Alex is. With those medium tires, I don't think he's got to grips with it.
Well, he still has those soft tires he can go to, and roughly we expect to see him pit probably 1 or 2 more laps from now. There's Beckham in 5th, who's actually pulling away quite a bit from Law, who's currently in 6th. There's JPS still in a very lonely 7th, and there we see Kobu hounding the back of Matty for that 8th place, so this is a battle on track. Let's see what can happen here. Kobu should get the run coming out of turn 9 Campsa, and might actually make the pass on the Matty. We know how strong that GTR is in comparison to the 911 on the straight line.
Oh, Kobu wants it a little wide through Wav.
Carry
it's the little sausage cab.
carry too much speed on entry, excuse me, and just got the understeer. DTR known to be understeery, but it's a bit better. So Maddie, another bit of breathing room here going to the final sector. 22 minutes remain. This is the close battle on track for position. Boo-Boo with his first corner, first lap incident, trying to work his way back through the field. If I'm not mistaken, he qualified in 7th. He's currently in 9th, and he's on track to actually gain time and position here. So if he hadn't had that spin, it's crazy to think actually what might could have been for him, especially with all the incidents happening in front of him between Law and Inman and West.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate circumstances which Cooper was the innocent bystander and all that, but what could have been, he could have battled Dan's, who's obviously not racing, could have picked up third as Pridges into the pit lane to make the second and last pit stop for him.
So it looks like Pridges is going to try and go for an undercut onto everyone else, onto his soft tires. Staying on board with this battle between Maddie and Kobu for 8th place. 21.5 minutes remain in the final round of Season 4. Ooh, Maddie takes a bit of a wide entry. Maddie sideways on the entry, carried too much speed trying to fight off the GTR behind, and Kobu gains a lot of time because of it.
Kobu was actually purple in the first sector, fastest of everybody at the moment. That medium tire's got a bit of wear on it, but how is he still pulling purple times? I don't understand.
Let's see what he can do coming through this second sector. If he still ends up being purple, he still has the draft of the 911 in front. So let's see what he can do going down through turn 9 Campsa.
I wonder if they still have the dirty air if you're still right behind the back of the car that you're a bit more understeered. There you can see he's now 2 tenths down in his best lap. As Gatti, the first one to come into the pits to go onto the medium tyres, and this will be his last stop. West will follow suit.
So how much time does the gap? It was 4.7 seconds. Who's going to underfuel? Who's going to overfuel? Because they're in the same amount of fuel. So what's the gap going to be coming out of the pit? Because West still has his soft tires. He puts in 50% fuel. Alex comes out ahead second. Where does West come out? He's got 51%, so he fueled up a little bit more, so he lost a bit of time in the pit stop, but West can push to the end of this race. He comes out 5th, 23 seconds behind Chile. We expect to make a pit stop this next time by, so how much time will West gain? We have to keep an eye on West. This undercut could be the thing that gives him the lead of this race. 23 seconds between him and Chile right now. We're going to have to keep an eye on that gap.
Law's just come out to the pit lane. He's gone onto the soft tyres. I think it was one of the DRE boys are coming out there. Yeah, GPS. He's onto the soft tyres, getting closer to the back of Matty now in the Porsche, who also came out of the pits too.
So Alex, Chile yet to pit. Beckham yet to pit.
Alex should be pitting this time by. He's flashing red on his fuel gauge. Alex will go on.
The gap between West and Chile.
I was just about to say, Alex will have to go into the soft tyres though. Ooh, it's going to be interesting.
And West really needs to push to stop. He needs to push that car to that final sector if he wants to gain a lot of time. And Chile goes in the pit lane. He's late to the turn in, but he's in. Alex Rogers, we expect also to make a pit stop. 21% fuel in that Citroen, so.
Which was 6% more than what Nagati had in his fuel tank before he pitted.
So he's probably going to gain time in the pit stop, and I don't think the one lap is gaining that much, so Alex Rogers comes in as well. There comes Nugatti. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to Chile. Alex is in, but let's fuel.
Chile's got it. Chile's got it, definitely. I mean,
yeah.
Nugatti's just coming across the start finish line right now, and Chile, that's a bigger advantage now that he's had.
Yep. So Chile on the mediums, Nugatti on the mediums, but the one we're going to watch is West. 10.5 seconds. Now, actually under 10 seconds is the gap. 18 minutes remaining. West is going to be the one to watch here. Who could take the win? 9 seconds in 18 minutes. If he's a second a lap faster, he should have it. Alex Rogers comes out in 4th, who's now on the soft tires as well, but he's 10 seconds behind West. There's Law in 5th. Beckham lost time in that pit stop, actually. He loses the position to Law. There's Inman GT up in the 7th, but he's on the alternate strategy. He hasn't made a pit stop yet. There's Maddie and JPS, the 2 DRE boys, once again reigniting their battle. Kobu comes out in 10th place, still ahead of Mermaid. but only 3.5 seconds back. And if I'm not mistaken, he's now on the soft tire. So that GTR on the soft tire, we know how fast he's been so far today. He's going to be one to watch out for.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, GPS is all over the back of his friend Matty there. I thought there was nearly contact between the Porsche and the Toyota. Inman's up to 7th. He must have jumped the DRE. But oh no, has Inman yet made the pit stop? No, he hasn't. So he's going to be pitting up very soon.
He's on the alternate 2-stop. So let's see what can happen here. Both these two, both the DRE boys, should be faster than Inman GT.
Gap slowly coming down to West, though 2.5 seconds over Nagati. It was 3.3 or something like that, you said a few minutes ago.
Yep, it's definitely coming down. 6 seconds then to West to Chile, so West could be on point to win this race. Mr. Martin himself, Marty, on pole currently, leading the way.
And West, as you see, they're setting the fastest lap, 1:43.724 that last lap.
So West is pushing. Nugati's going to be sweating bullets. And Alex Rogers only 10 seconds back as well, so it's quite possible that Alex Rogers could take away the final spot on the podium from Nugati if he's able to gain a lot of time, especially once West and Nugati start battling.
The gap, though, between Alex and Nugati is just about 12 seconds. I think that might be good enough for Nugati to hold on from Alex, I'd say.
Don't forget, West has to try and find a way by Nugati. Once they start fighting, Alex is going to gain lots of time.
I mean, Nugati could actually play smart here. I mean, if he knows that West is going to be faster, Nugati could play smart here and just let him by.
Let's see what he plans on doing. 1.7 seconds the gap, looking back to the field. There we see Matty and JPS all over the back of Inman GT now. I don't think this alternate strategy is going to work too well for Inman. Kobu's trying to add himself to the mix as well.
Oh! Matty clipping the grass at Seat.
Find the tightest line that he can. We see Kobu, and looks like Mermy wants to add himself to this mix as well. He's not too far back. 15.5 minutes remain here at Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. Okay, I got that name wrong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you got it right there. Yeah, now West, getting closer to the Nugati, 1.2 seconds.
Ooh, the bit of a touch from Matty to Inman GT, but not too much time lost or gained there. See Matty maybe trying to find a way. There's a yellow
Alex!
flag.
Alex! It's Alex! He's spun at the RECC!
We're going to get a replay of what happened here. Yeah, he clips the curve, and it just goes around. It just snaps on him.
Oh, did he catch too much curb? Did he put the power? Oh, is that an auto spin curb?
It just clipped it. I think he got on the throttle too early, and it just went around on him. That's not a mistake we see too often from Alex Rogers.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, but I think that's pretty much handed the overall championship to Nugati because of that little moment at the RECC.
That it has, but now West within a second of Nugati, and the gap between him and Chile is 6.3, so West has to really push here. He needs to find a way by Nugati as fast as he can. Now Nugati doesn't have to let West by. He has that breathing room. He could fight him for that second place.
I mean, it'd be such a great way to, if Nugati, if he could be smart here, just let West by and see how he can do to catch up to Chile. I want to see a grandstand finish here. This would be great. Oh, I thought Nugati looked like he ran right at the Quaisa, but no, not going to do that there just yet. Nugati's too experienced to do that kind of mistake.
He's all over the back of him in this final sector. Those soft tires are going to gain lots of time through here.
I just don't. I completely don't understand how we saw the Jaguar compete in season 3. Like we saw Contrail, he couldn't get to grips with the Jaguar. We saw Lemmy, he couldn't get to grips with it. We've seen Winnie Conan, we've seen who else drives it? Alex Gaiman. Like I don't think they can handle the Jaguar, but they at West somehow can, and he's gone into second place now.
Yep, and he's gone. Nugati lets him by. He's going to try and follow in the back of the coattails of West. But now West is going to have to try and set fastest lap after fastest lap. He's got 13 minutes to close 6 seconds to Chile.
Yeah, that last lap there from West was a 1:44.0 compared to Chili's 1:44.8. So he's only just gained about at least 8 temps. But there's 12 minutes to go, 6 seconds. It's definitely doable, I reckon.
This is going to be another battle to watch between fourth place between Law and Alex Rogers. He seems to be really pushing that car now, trying to gain as much time back as he can. Inman GT, he's holding up a train here.
And we know how good defending. In fact, actually, Wes said GPS.
GPS has fallen all the way back. Yeah, he's at the very back of that tail there. So Inman doing his best to try as he can to try and hold on. There comes Mermaid. He's found away by Kobu. So developments have happened here that we've missed. As we see, it looks like Wes trying to go around the outside of the exit of that corner. There's another touch. There's still touching. Mermaid tries to look up the inside. They're going to go maybe almost 3 wide of the exit. It's a big mess here. As Maddie gets the position, now here comes Mermaid for the position. Will Kobu try to find a way by? No, not quite. There's a touch. He has to be careful. Pick up a penalty. He still holds on to it. Mermaid flashing the lights a little bit. He's not too happy with that defending. Now here comes Kobu looking to take that 9th place away from Mermaid.
That's what you got to expect, though, from Inman. We saw some great defensive driving from Inman at Spa last week. Unfortunate what happened to him last, though, but he's definitely
not quite.
Not going to do it there just yet, though. But we know how good defensive driving Inman can be. I mean, what he did when he was battling against Chile was absolutely clean, was fair.
That was, and it was within the rule. That's the #1 key. But now he's going to have to do it again. He's going to have to do it with 3 cars behind.
But also Inman has to pit. When does he pit? He's not pitting now. It gets a little sideways off New Holland. Don't know if Mermaid had a little touch.
Puts his car in the middle of the track, forces them to pick a side. You can make the outside work going into this corner, especially with the grip of your tires. Here comes Kobe, can't find a way by as Mermaid tries to pick a side to find a way by, but he can't.
I tell you, I think Kobe was trying to get by Mermaid on the inside going into Elf, and I think Mermaid was on the outside of him, but he drove to the inside where Kobe was about to go, so that could have been enough.
Close fight, still on board with Kobe, looking to the inside of Mermaid. Mermaid now looks to the inside. Inman goes wide in the braking zone. Mermaid
forcing his way through.
Yeah, here comes Kobe to go with him. Inman almost loses the rear end. He's got 10 minutes left in this race. Is he not going for a soft tire stop? At this point, you're going to lose too much time.
It's not flashing red just yet. Oh, he's leaning on Mermaid. He's like basically rubbing him. Oh, and there's contact again.
This is a super close fight, and the more they fight, look at the gap Matty already has. All these drivers are on the soft tires. Inman's on the medium. He's holding them all up. There's Kobu flashing the lights. Inman goes defensive. As Inman moves back to the other side, Mermaid goes way defensive. He moves in the braking zone. You have to be real careful about that one. And here comes GPS up the inside of Kobu.
And now, there was contact! I think there might have been a little contact there. I noticed that Inman flashed the lights to Mermaid.
GPS only looking at his side around all of them. He goes into the gravel trap. He can't quite hold on to it.
And now GPS is flashing the lights to Inman. What's going on here now?
Kobu back to 11th. They're all still fighting. Mermaid is broken away now. Now Kobu and GPS are going at it, but now Inman has a big gap to them.
Yeah, I'm probably guessing that Inman is going for a one-stop strategy. I mean, that was some good racing there. Quite aggressive, forceful racing, but it was still pretty good to watch.
So it looks like Chile has lapped Stig in 14th, and the gap between West and Chile with 9 minutes remaining is 5.3 seconds.
Alex is closing to Law, 3.5 seconds, 3.5 temps. Law runs right through Seat.
Side by side at the exit, Alex has the inside. We'd expect Alex to hold on to it, but we've seen drivers hold around the outside here. He's got the car link behind, and Alex takes back 4th place. There we see Kobu back ahead of GPS, but they're side by side with there. Now Kobu back ahead of GPS now. 1 second to Inman. And that's like Inman's actually caught up to the back of Mermaid a little bit as well.
Blimey, Charlie, battles everywhere you look.
Definitely a good, exciting race. They're putting on a good one at the end of the championship.
I mean, there's nothing really on the line. They're probably having a fun time or having an absolute brawl here. We've got GPS for late launch on Kobu. That was a do or die pass, that nearly.
was. Looks like Kobe almost missed his braking point compared to how much he closed up to Inman and braking there, but he managed to hold on to it. And now he has to try and find a way by another GTR. They've had such a hard time finding a way by Inman before. They're still going to have a hard time doing it here.
I wonder if Inman's going to do the same what he did at Spa. Go right over to the inside wall. Oh, Kobu! And then, like, he'll go over to the left-hand side, like what he's doing right now. Well, to the right-hand side, I see. Then Kobu's going to go out to the outside, then cuts him off, try and get a little bit of space. That's exactly what he did at Spa last week. And here comes Kobu. He's going to go down the outside. He's going to have the inside for turn 2. And he's going to do it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got it.
Here comes JPS. He's got it, nice.
Oh, but JP runs GPS real wide.
Oh! Is that another flash of the lights? Yes, indeed it is. 3 flashes. Oh, JPS is still happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy either if I was JPS, I'll admit. It looked like he just got run right off the track, almost into the gravel trap.
Oh, in fact, JPS, where is he? Where's he gone? He's had another moment. He's fallen way back. Yeah, he was like 4 seconds away from Inman. Did he lose it going into Repsol?
He might have
he carried too much speed.
He cooked it too hot. He got too hot under the helmet after what Inman did, and that's probably gonna. Stewards are gonna have a handful here. Back at
just
the
to
front.
let you know.
4 seconds.
Just to let you. Sorry, I was just going to say, just to let you know, if JPS is showing some smoke, it's not from the rear. It's probably out of his helmet because he's angry. Right, go on then.
4 seconds between West and Chile. 6 minutes remaining. It looks like there was another close battle here between 2 cars. It's Law and Alex Rogers. So the Law is holding on to the back of Alex Rogers for that 4th place. So that battle's not quite done yet. And there we see Maddie in 7th. Mermaid 2 seconds behind him. Kobu finally finding a way by Inman GT, doing his best to try and close back up to the back of Mermaid.
A guy that we've not mentioned so far in this race at all was Beckham. He's just sitting there quietly in that 6th place. I'm actually quite amazed he's actually here for the final round of the season.
Yeah, but he missed the other six rounds. Yeah, so that's a big moment there.
Hello there, Beckham. How you doing?
So, I mean, he still has yet to finish a complete championship, or complete every race in a championship, but yeah, it's Beckham. So, he's still currently sitting in a solid 6th place in that all-black Toyota Supra.
Yeah, nice showing out from Beckham.
Maddie in 7th, 2.9 to the next car, Mermaid, and Kobu 2 seconds flat between him and Mermaid. Inman there, and there's JPS 3 seconds behind Inman. So I think Kobu might be able to catch Mermaid coming into the race, and if he catches Mermaid, he'll finish where he qualified, just about 8th place. So, I mean, when you consider what happened to him throughout this race, Kobu's putting on just a masterclass here, really, when you think about it. Just 8 seconds between 14th and 13th after his spin, and now he's almost back to 1 position behind where he started on the start grid. That's a fantastic drive. Kobu was one to watch here, and it's a shame what happened to him.
Yeah, definitely a shame. He was going to be a massive threat to finish 3rd in the championship if what happened to him on the first lap. You know, just unfortunate circumstances happened there. But you know, Kobu putting on a show here in that new livery, and again, I think it's still going to be a good day no matter what, because I still think Ice-T Racing is still going to pick up the manufacturer's title here.
Battle to watch, though. West closing up to Chile, 2.8 seconds with just under 4 minutes remaining.
Are we going to be in for a grandstand finish? Oh, I'd love to see that.
It's going to be close.
It would be such a way to end the season. As much the season has been, the racing has been unbelievable. Like the Monza race was phenomenal, and it's every race. Like Interlagos, the last lap pass, just incredible. It's like the best racing we've seen in the entire history of the ARC GR3 season.
Now it's 2.4 seconds, just a little over 3 minutes remaining. They should have 2 more laps. Will West be able to close up just enough to find a way by Chile? It's going to be close. Nugatti in 3rd, ahead of Alex Rogers. That means Nugatti will finish ahead of Alex Rogers in the overall point standing. There's Law in 5th, Beckham in 6th. It looks like he's worked his way by Stig as well. There we see Matty in 7th, Mermaid in 8th. It looks like Kobu's caught right up to the back of him. Ooh, his Inman actually has a bit of a penalty here, as he serves that penalty. And there goes JPS finding a way.
Watch out for these. Is GPS cooled down? Yes, he has. Okay, that's fine. Just don't do anything silly now, GPS.
Now Inman having a bit of a wobble there, so I think we're gonna need to keep an eye on the battle between Chile and West and Kobu and Mermaid.
He's flashing red now, Inman, so I don't think he's got enough fuel to go to the finish, this Inman. He will have to make a pit stop. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. He might have to save fuel. He's got a bit buffer to Reggie in 12th.
So it looks like Mermaid lets Kobu right on by. He flashes the hazard, lets Kobu take the position. He's not going to fight him. So there you have Kobu up into 8th, 3.7 seconds between him and Matty. He'll be able to close it. It's not going to be easy. 1.9 between Chile and West. Now they have 2 laps left, so it's possible. If West can close up just enough with the slipstream through these few corners, he could catch that slipstream and possibly take the lead.
Chile's going to finish 2nd place overall in the points. He'll end up on 983. If he can hold on to the win, Alex Rogers will finish on 980. So it will be Bugatti, Chile, and then Alex Rogers. And then a far distant back will be Dan's 4th, and then Kobe 5th. I tell you what, Law's impressed me this season. He really has.
He definitely has. He's definitely improved a lot, especially in that Citroen. It's definitely suited his driving style. But now West in a second between him and Chile. They have 1 lap. West has 1 lap to catch up and find a way by Chile. It's just
and the gap is closing. He's in slipstream distance. He is in slipstream. This last lap, what will be this?
This is the fast lap. You can see the braking distance. He closes up so much in the braking zone.
Oh, but he's lost a lot of ground there. He lost nearly 3 tenths over Chile going in past the elf chicane.
He's trying to push a little bit too hard. He has to make sure he doesn't get in his own head. There's a lot of corners left where he can gain a lot of time, and Chile's going to lose it in the tire difference. It's going to be close.
Gap up to a second now, so Chile improving. Now the gap's gone down again. I just feel that it might be too far back. West might be too far back from Chile. If he had another lap.
It's not the first time Chile's made a mistake under pressure.
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Chile is vulnerable to making those mistakes.
Alex Rogers make one here today. We've seen a lot of drivers make one here today. If Chile, he gets right on the back of Chile to that final sector, it's quite possible Chile could throw this away. 7 tenths the gap. Final lap officially now. The final sector of the final lap to end out Season 4. Who will take the final win?
Oh, Chile! Chile gets his siders off of Laquesa. Half a second between the 2 of them now. Chile's getting very nervous now. You've got 3 corners to go.
He just needs to hold on just a little bit. Will there be a dive into the chicane? He's not quite close enough to go for it. Will he get the run at the exit? Chile takes it super slow. Will he get the run? He has a bit of a run, but he's not quite close enough to go for it. It's not easy to pass here.
Oh, he's close. He's going to be very close. Oh, if he had another lap, he might have done it. Chile wins it. 2nd win of the season for Chile. West will finish in 2nd. The overall champion, Bugatti, in that Hartlepool livery, gets a fair price, but I'm clapping for him because that livery is just so good. Overall champion there, Alex Rogers will finish in 4th. And then Law, what a season it's been there for Law. That's Sandy Bowles there, finishing 5th in the race, 5th in the championship. Beckham solidly, quietly in 6th place. And then you got Matty. That's a solid effort for Matty at the Porsche in 7th place. Good effort there. Kobu, great drive from Kobu, recovering from 14th all the way up there to finishing in a very solidable 8th place. And then you got Mermaid. Good to see Mermaid there picking up a top 10 finish. I think that's his first top 10 finish of the season. There's his teammate just went by. Then you got GPS with finished 10th, flashing the lights. And then here comes Inman, pretty much running on fumes now. So he went for the 1 stop on the mediums. So he's just gone by Sabadell now into Europe car, hits the line of the sausage curb. He's nearly completely out of fuel into the RACC chicane.
I think he's going to be out of fuel here. Just about.
Yeah, he's going to do a dance, possibly a dance on a ruby, maybe. He's weaving left and right. Careful, you don't spin it.
Oh.
Oh, goodness me. Well, there you go.
Well, he's the last one to cross the line anyways. But there you have it. Chile 2/10 ahead of West at the line. What a way to end out the championship.
If West had one more lap in him, he could have done it. He could have passed Chile.
Just a bit of the mistiming, or maybe a pit stop a little bit earlier, pushing a little bit more here and there. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner for the final round of Season 4 is Chile in the Citroen GT. West 308 will take an excellent second place in that Jaguar F-Type Bugatti. Our Tier A champion will come across the line in third. Alex Rogers not quite able to beat him, will finish in fourth, so it will be Bugatti taking the overall point score. Law in fifth for Team Sandy Balls. Beckham, another individual driver, in sixth place. Derry Matty comes across the line seventh with Kobu, one position off where he started in eighth, but when you consider what happened to him in that race, that's still an excellent result. You have Mermaid up 5 positions up in the 9th, JPS in the 10th, Inman GT going for the one stop only on the medium tires. I don't think he ever used a set of soft tires. So
No, he didn't. No.
They're in 11th. Craig J from Tier C up into 12th, ACZ Alex in 13th, and Stig a lap down in 14th. Actually, to say Craig J, ACZ Alex, and Stig are all a lap down, but there you have it. Stig was, I think, the only driver we visually saw get lapped, so there you have it.
Yeah, he was.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end to Season 4 of the ARC's GR3 Championship season. Now, as you see on screen, it's not quite over yet. We still have some of the driver interviews to go through, but I have to admit, I have enjoyed this season quite a lot.
It's been the best race this season so far. You know, I beat Season 1 by a mile. The racing's been absolutely incredible. You know, that with Ducati winning the championship, his points, it wasn't as runaway as what we saw from Lemmy and Alex did in Seasons 2 and 3 respectively. I think the drop point system, has really helped, the championship become very close, competitive. But overall, a massive shout out to all the drivers that have took part in TNA for the 8 races, because they put on an amazing show, those 8 races. And like you said, I thoroughly enjoyed watching them. And I can't wait for Season 5 to start.
Yeah, I can't either. It's definitely going to be a good one. The things are going to be different. It's going to be a bit of ways away, but it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. But ladies and gentlemen, as you see on screen, we have the post-race driver interviews, so don't go anywhere. We're going to get our interviews from all the drivers you're happy to see out there on track today. All right, well, let's go on to our driver interviews, and let's interview our Season 4 Series champion. Now we can officially congratulate him here on stream. Ducati, how are you doing? And congratulations on officially winning the Tier A championship last round.
Thank you very much, Lateral.
So let's go through the feelings. I know we're a bit weak disposed from when you actually did end up winning it, but What's it like going from the Tier B champion now to Tier A champion? I believe the first ever two-time drivers champion in ARC history. What was it? What's it feel like, and how much effort did you put in that off season to go from Tier B champion to being Tier A champion material? What's it feel like, and how's it feel?
It feels very, very good. Obviously, after the season 3, I joined Team Arc, and I think that gave me the extra boost to uh, get in the practice and overall getting me better at this game. So obviously I gotta um, thank and congratulate the guys for getting me a little bit better at this game. So I feel very happy. So yeah.
Well, it's definitely great to have you, especially a strong competitor. They're taking it to the guys like Alex Rogers, Dan, Chili, all of our front runners. You've done an excellent job this season to really bring the fight to them, and in the end, you came home with the championship. So once again, congratulations to you for that. But bringing it back to the race
Yeah.
that we just happened to see, there was a bit of a hairy moment there going into turn one between you and Edmund. What was your thoughts when you saw that happen?
I don't quite remember that. I think I just heard something whizzing behind me. I didn't really see what happened, but I think I was really, really close to getting taken out or something. But yeah, I don't quite remember what happened there. But yeah, thankfully it didn't. I didn't get punted off or something. But yeah.
All right, well, throughout most of that race, you had a pretty close battle between you and West 308 and the Jaguar. What was your your mindset when you saw that you guys were on different tire strategies and that he had the soft tires for the end of the last stint and you used your soft tires for that medium stint? What was your idea behind the strategy difference there, and did you feel that maybe perhaps you made the wrong call in the end, or do you feel like for you that was a better strategy and you just happened to be the better driver today?
I knew that West was very, very quick on the mediums, and I saw that he had, yeah, he wasn't really losing a lot on the when he came out on the mediums there. So, yeah, the softs, I tried to basically try to keep up with Chili, but yeah, sadly I just couldn't quite keep up with him. And then I saw that West was only like 5 seconds behind me on the next pit stop. So the plan was just let him go and have a go at Chile. So yeah, he had insane pace on the mediums. I don't know quite. He turned into Mikhail Hizal or something. So yeah, that was pretty insane.
Right. Well, you're pretty insane yourself, I have to admit, but I mean, he was a fairly quiet racer than the battles you had going through the field, you and Alex Rogers, and moving up to the final podium position. But so I want to change your attention to next season, season five. Are there any plans for season five? Are you planning on entering full time? Do you feel like maybe you want to defend your drivers' championship? Are there other things you're pursuing in life, or that might stop you from entering that championship? Like, how are you feeling about continuing here in ARC and your future?
Yeah, I'll guess what will happen after the summer. Obviously I'll getting to working and yeah, obviously it's my last year of school as well, so I'll probably be a little bit more occupied with real life. But yeah, I'm definitely still going to be around and entering championships, but I don't know if I'll have the time to practice as much as I've done this season to really defend it. But yeah, I guess I will see what I do.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on your Tier A championship and an excellent drive getting on the podium here today.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's move over to our race winner here today, Chili. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello, Chili.
Yeah, sorry, my mic's a bit messed up. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we're good. We can hear you just fine.
Cool. What a race, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty close there at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I nearly bottled it myself. Into the hairpin. Nearly went all the way wide, but managed to keep it on, and here we are.
Yeah, once again, rounding out the season with 2 wins in a row. So, or was it BD3? Am I forgetting around?
No, it's two.
Two, yeah. Brands Hatch didn't end up the best for you, if I remember
No,
right.
it didn't.
But still, 2 wins, 2 wins the end of the season. and what could have been for you come this championship, right? It was a great season for you across the board. Some mistakes and hiccups here and there, but two solid back-to-back seasons in a row. And actually, if we did the points during the race we're going, you actually ended up finishing ahead of Alex Rogers in terms of overall points. So you got one over on the man that beat you last season. But how did you feel across the course of this season? How do you feel like it was a good season for you, or do you feel like you could have done a lot better?
I mean, the two races that I dropped scores on were the races that I wasn't expecting to actually be entering um, through my dissertation work. So the fact that they weren't my best races, or yeah, weren't my best races, sort of just shows you how stressed I was with the uni work. And then once that's all gone and I'm settled down at home again, all of a sudden my pace is back and I can do this. Um, I did as much as I could. Nuggy was so consistent across the entire season that that Brands Hatch race is where it ended for me. I did, as I say, I did all that I could. I needed the results to go my way. Obviously, we know what happened at the final corner at Spa, so that gifted Nuggy the fourth place he needed at a minimum, and that was it. I couldn't win it anymore, so I thought I'd go out with a flourish, anyways.
Well, it definitely was an exciting race from our end. And speaking of the exciting race, going into turn one, I believe I mixed this up in the interview with Nugatti, but it was you and Law that had a bit of a run in there with Inman going into turn one. What was your point of view on that?
Um, I don't really know what happened. I went obviously at the correct time. I think he jumped the start, so there's going to be something about that. But then I don't know. I was focusing on hitting my braking point into T1, and all of a sudden I hear a GTR skidding off the track and down the inside. So I did my best to avoid him. I think Law then. I think me and Law touched briefly, but obviously with the melee that was going on, I was all out of shape, so I couldn't really do much about it. Um, and then somehow I just survived. I'm very lucky, to be honest. I thought that was game over when I saw that arrow coming down on the radar.
Speaking of game over, and that final stint with West on the soft tires, what was going through your head when you were seeing that gap get smaller and smaller every lap?
It certainly wasn't expected. I heard he was pretty quick, but his pace was just relentless. I mean, I think he got a penalty. I think he ran wide on Campsa. At least that's where he burnt it. So that gave me a nice little second buffer, which without, I don't think I would have won this race. Um, so yeah, I think if you were ever on board with me, you could probably hear me start revving the car out a little bit more than I usually do. I certainly didn't save as much fuel as I like to in that final stint. So I was cutting it close, but I think I had it covered.
Yeah, it was a solid race from lights to finish there for you, led pretty much the entire way. So it was a great result for you here today. And moving on to what we see in season five, with you being finished with university, are we going to expect a full season effort for you going into season five, or do you feel like you're maybe going to take a bit of a back seat there?
Waiting on what happens in real life. My I've applied for jobs and stuff, but obviously they've said, we need to wait until the virus is over and all that stuff. Um, so basically, we're just waiting. I'm waiting to see what they say, and if I have time, then I'll go for it. But definitely, if I'm in full-time employment, it's probably going to be looking at a more backseat role, maybe jumping in a couple of races here and there. Who knows? But it all depends on what happens at that time. I'll make the decision.
All right, well, good job for your championship here today, and we hope to get to see more from you in the future.
Yeah, cheers, lad.
All right, let's move on to the man who actually finished out there second today, the man with the unbelievable pace and the Jaguar, West 308. How are you?
Good day. It is hot here, sweaty. Really enjoyed the race though. I have to say, best result the three races I've done. So really enjoyed this as
Yeah,
well.
you definitely had the pace. I mean, looking from back from season three to and what we have in season four, we haven't had anyone find the amount of pace that you found in that Jaguar. throughout the course of the races that you've entered, you've been absolutely fantastic in that car. Do you feel like maybe you want to share a bit of the secrets with some of those drivers in that Jag, what it takes to get the extra bit of pace out of it, or is that more of a trade secret?
Uh, I would say kind of like the secret to most FR cars is you run a rear brake balance, and especially the Jag is a bit understeery. Not as much as say the Viper, but kind of running it a mere brake more towards the rear kind of helps it getting around, and it still has very even balanced tire wear if you run it that way. So I'm not sure if that's it, but yeah, that's how I find the pace at least.
All right. Well, and once again, it was a very strong race from you, coming home second, almost taking the win on that final lap. What was your race like? Throughout most of the race, we saw you battling with Nugatti. Once you finally worked your way by him, it was setting your sights on Chile. You set the fastest lap throughout most of the race. What was your mindset in those last few laps as you were really closing down in on Chile?
It's hard to remember exact feelings, but sure, it's fun hunting people down, but it's also hard. And due to the penalty, it kind of unsets you a bit. And I had a couple of scrappy laps afterwards, and then finally getting the speed up. Uh, Not super happy with the pace. I think there was a bit more pace in the car to get. Doing the 43s for maybe 5, 6, 7 laps would have been possible. Yeah, it's always hard to say afterwards. But I really enjoyed it. Penalty was a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Chile saves fuel like no other I've ever seen. I think I save fuel quite well, but yeah, that just set him up for a good last in with a lot of time in the bag. So to say.
All right. Well, for what we've seen from you in terms of performance here in ARC, do you feel like you're going to join next season full time, or maybe you're going to join as a reserve once again? How are you feeling about staying here in ARC and actually competing on a full time schedule as part of a team next season?
So, Sundays are a bit of a tricky day for me. Either I'm traveling or doing other races. Yeah, it's always kind of tricky. And with me usually moving week to week, so I'm home on the weekends and then I might be somewhere else on the week. I usually have my rig during the week, so then I'm not going to drive on a pad for this race, for example. So I think reserves is probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll be out too many races to be a full-time driver, unfortunately.
All right. Well, it was still a fantastic race from you. You always a joy to watch out there. You always put on some great racing. You're definitely one of the best, smarter drivers out there in terms of strategy and keeping in car control. So we definitely would love to see you back for season 5. It definitely elevates the ARC Championship having you here.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can make some time. For sure, at least a couple of races. I'm going to try to make.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and have a fun off season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, let's move over to a bit of a more, it might be a bit more of an interesting interview here. Let's jump on over to Kobu. And Kobu, how are you feeling?
I'm doing okay.
Well, let's just jump right on into things. That turn 1, lap 1, what was your point of view on everything that happened?
Yeah, I guess I kind of got a better run off the accelerator than Nugatti did. And then a couple of people kind of swinged out to the inside of the track, so that gave me a little bit of draft. So I was running side by side next to Nugatti, and I couldn't really see the braking board, so I didn't really have much reference in terms of where I was going to brake. So I kind of coasted into the corner, braked early, and I was just hoping for a clean turn. And I just witnessed a whole lot of carnage coming from behind. I got collected. People were understeering out of the corner. I got the worst of it, and I kind of got pushed off. And then as the pack was kind of rolling through, I kind of got T-boned, and so I got pushed off track because of that. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to recover as fast as I could, so I was basically 9 seconds back. So I had to make up that time by just running clean laps for the rest of the race.
Well, speaking of clean laps, regardless of what happened, I do have to give you props for your race today. Your pace was absolutely phenomenal, And in the end, I believe you only end up finishing one position from where you started on pole. So your pace and your ability to work your way through a lot of that traffic was absolutely phenomenal today. So great job on that. But
Thank you. Yeah.
I do want to get your point of view because there's another spot in the race where it was about 5 cars of you trying to find a way by Inbin GT throughout for several laps. There was good door-to-door battling, but the little time it could be a little iffy. What was your throughout most of those races? There was that point where you were side by side a lot of cars. When you were in that pack, what was your mindset at the time?
I was just hoping that I would get through because Inman was looking a little racy, and JPS and Maddie, I knew I had pace on them, just based off the medium stint. So I just wanted to make sure that I could get past them. Unfortunately, we were scrapping way too much. That ended up getting Mermaid back into the fray, and so Mermaid actually got the most out of that, and got free first, with Maddie running away too. And so me, JPS, and Inman, we just kept battling, and it lost us a lot of time. I was hoping to maybe keep fighting for that position and maybe even get like a sixth place, because I knew I could probably even catch up to Beckham. I knew I had the pace to have a good performance today. Unfortunately, I had that incident, so yeah, I was just trying to get through.
Well, you definitely did have the pace today, but there's always a silver lining to everything. And I believe with your performance out there today, I believe it's quite likely you were able to take the constructors championship. So that must be a nice little bit of cupcake there at the end there.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. I won't really celebrate too hard until we see official results, but yeah, I'm fairly sure we took the championship. I want to thank Thomas. He's worked really hard to stay consistent. He's been more consistent than I have. I want to thank Darth, who came in the middle of the season, and I want to thank Manikai as well. He's been the rock that's kind of kept us all together. So yeah, the whole team has just been really great this season. Not to like say anything bad of my previous teams, they've all been great too. But yeah, this team, we finally did it. Nissan #1.
Well, looking forward to season 5. Are we going to see you once again as a full-time competitor, or do you feel maybe you're taking a step back, or there's other things outside of Gran Turismo you're maybe taking a look at?
I did make a purchase on Assetto Corsa, and I might be looking at iRacing as well. I will definitely be taking a break from Gran Turismo until the next season of Arc Group 3. But I will probably be taking a look at the other sims to maybe even improve my consistency and maybe even get even faster than I am now. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But I'll be keeping my eye out for season 5.
All right, well, it's great to have you. You definitely put on some great racing out there today.
Thank you.
All right, looks like we have 2 more interviews here left to do. Let's move on to the man who didn't quite get the overall championship. Alex Rogers, how are you feeling?
Yo, Lau, what's up?
I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, tired. Oh, yeah, made it.
I guess we have to get the obvious out of the way. There was that bit of a moment there going through the chicane on that one lap.
I'm just glad I span it once. That's it. That's literally. I don't know if you saw the chats you've been having, but man, this thing does not like that curb. So yeah, the super is shit through there basically. So yeah.
But
so it's lucky it only happened once really, because we did a practice race earlier on and it happened like 4 times. So yeah, it was gonna happen at some point, and luckily it happened near the end and everybody was spread out, so I didn't lose too much time. Yeah.
All right, well, one thing I do want to ask you going back to qualifying, we saw a lot of the cars in qualifying trying to use the slipstream of each other in the draft to try and improve their lap time, but you chose to go out there and burn a lot of fuel on your own. Why was that?
I just don't feel the Supra works well in the draft of other cars, to be honest. I think it understeers a lot anyway, so to start picking up wake from other cars just doesn't help it. So I'd rather just run on my own, and I don't like having the distraction of cars ahead. I just don't feel it helps me in any way, you know. So yeah, I just prefer to, do it that way, separate myself from everybody else, and then just get on with it really. And to be honest with you, it nearly worked. I thought that time was pretty good. To be honest, when that time came in, I was like, 0.6, that's not bad. And then yeah, obviously everybody else was well, it was like what 4 cars within 0.2 of a second ahead of me again. But yeah, that's just I thought it was pretty decent, and that's the best way around it for me, to be honest.
Well, it was still a solid race effort from you. You managed to finish 4th overall. As we mentioned, there was that one moment, but throughout most of the race, it was pretty clean. You had a lot of pace. You were battling with Nugatti for that overall points lead of the championship. Throughout most of the race, there was that point where you and Lau were battling back and forth, and he kind of you were in front of him, but he didn't exactly pull away from him. Were you worried at any point you could lose another position because of that, or did you feel like you had that position locked down? You know you could have been ahead of Law come push comes to shove.
Which what, at the end of the race, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I felt I had the pace on Law, to be honest. So I mean, no disrespect to his pace, he was bloody quick around here, especially qualifying second. But I feel like to be honest, I went behind. He got a penalty, so I kind of got dragged to within another like 2 seconds in again, and then I think he made a mistake, so I overtook him, and then from there it was just managing the gap. Really, there's no point in pushing that hard because I was like 15 seconds behind Nuggy. So yeah, it's just holding on to 4th really, which was, to be honest, I was quite happy with that. Yeah. Be nice to do it not spinning, but 4th was pretty good, to be honest. I was quite pleased with that.
Now I know I asked you at the end of last round, but next season, season 5, I know you have some things in your future that you're looking at, but do you feel like you're going to try and come back full force for season 5? Maybe perhaps going in actually entering as part of a team and not a reserve for that championship?
No.
All right.
I won't have the time, and I'm not going full. I'm not going balls to the wall on something I can't fully commit to. So yeah, that's probably me, to be honest with you, lad. I don't think I'll ever do another championship in ARC for a couple of years. So yeah, I might retire now, and I'll probably come back when somebody beats my win record, and then I'll come back.
All right. Well, I think that'll conclude our interview. A fairly quiet race, but still a good one from you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Just briefly, thank you everybody for organising the championship. It's been great, and you two in the commentary booth as well. It's been excellent to watch back. So yeah, cheers everybody.
All right, well, thank you. We have one more interview here today. The man who qualified second and had a few issues in the last couple laps. Law, how was your race out there?
Hello. I'm very mixed bag. Firstly, the qualifying was brilliant. I've been seriously practicing that all week, and that was really, really good to just do my best lap of the entire week of practicing in quali. So it was going pretty well up until I got a really, really dubious time penalty. I've watched over, and it's borderline cutting the chicane. Like, I'm pretty sure I've done that many times before. So I got a 1.5 sec penalty, and it just dropped me all the way back to 7th, which obviously wasn't great. But then helpfully the Stig took out Matty ahead of me, so that took out one less person. Got past Mermaid eventually, and then with Becky was pretty quick. I couldn't really beat him on pure pace, but just from fuel saving, I jumped him. I think he said that he overfueled as well. So that was him out of the way. And then just a bit later, when I was battling with Alex, I wasn't really battling with him, but he spun. And then I got another really, really dubious 2.5 second time penalty on the straight, which was just like, just dropped me back towards referee Chief Alex, and then he eventually got me. He would have got me anyway. He was really quick. So finishing 5th wasn't too bad overall. I would have probably thought Nugatti and West were probably going to get me eventually. Like, West's pace is just insane. Nugatti is just incredibly consistent, and there was no chance I was ever going to catch Chile. I just overtook him into turn 1. I just had to have a very, very brief time as leading an ARC race for the first time. If it was only for one corner, but yeah, it was really solid, I think, overall.
Yeah, you had excellent pace out there. You did a great job to recover from your first lap incidents there. So I have to give props to you. I think it's your best ever qualifying you ever had, qualifying in second, and only just a little bit off the pole there. So it definitely great things we'd like to see from you in the future. Going into turn 1, though, we saw the Inman overshoot the corner. He braked a little bit late. What was your side of things going into there?
Well, I mean, the first thing is that I'm pretty sure he jumped the start, because I saw him in 3rd, and I was like, wait, no, he qualified 4th. And yeah, I think just for the GTR, I think he got too much speed, and we were 3 wide, and I think he just missed his braking point. I think there was a little bit of like, I've looked back in the replay, there was a little tiny bit of nudging going on, but like, I mean, I wasn't obviously steering right or anything. I think it was just a bit of, argy-bargy. But yeah, he had lost control before that. But yeah, thankfully he didn't really take anybody else out. I mean, obviously it would have been selfishly great if he took out Chile, but we don't want that. So yeah, and then there was another, like a couple of laps later, Stig completely lost. As I said, like Stig lost his braking point as well. So it's a hard turn one when you're trying to overtake somebody for sure, and you got the overspeed. So, but yeah, I mean, Inman was insanely fast as well. Like he is really one to look out for as well in the future.
Well, speaking of the future, going into season 5, your performance this season has definitely far improved from what it was in season 3. You've definitely improved yourself. But going into season 5, do you think that you're going to improve even more? Is it going to be a full-time effort from you? Or are you going to maybe come in for a few races as a reserve? What's the future hold for you here in ARC?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've absolutely loved it. Really, I've absolutely loved the season. Just all the highs and lows. It's been really, really, really good fun. I am going to invest in a wheel, so I will be definitely coming back next season as a full entry with a wheel. So let's see where that goes. I think I've hit the limit with what I can do with the pad, and especially in these 1 hour races where you have the people on the wheel that are got much better tire management than I do. So I'm definitely going to get a wheel, and let's see what happens there. But yeah, definitely, I've absolutely loved it, and absolutely props to everybody who's organised this. Props to my Sandy Balls team. We finally got our full strength team, and we've been absolutely brilliant, and I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. So yeah, thank you so much. Brilliant.
Well, it's definitely brilliant to have you. You've definitely come into your own these last few races. You've really shown the pace that you've had. You've been up there in Monza. You were in the top 5. You're qualified in the top 3 here at this race. So great. We expect to see great things from you in the future.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. That will conclude our broadcast for today here from the final round of season 4. So don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. With the season maybe over, we're going to take a small break, but that doesn't mean ARC is done. I'm sure there'll be many other races in the meantime, such as other endurance events or other filler championships we'll run from time to time. But for the meantime, we're going to take a bit of a break, let everything cool down, let's make sure our drivers don't get burnt out on Gran Turismo. But there's many great things here in the future for us here at ARC. With that being said, we want to remind you, if you keep up with us over on Twitter at ARC_PS4, if you want to keep up to date on us, all of our points, images, and just knowing if there's another big race coming up. Of course, you also know that if you hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget the like button, that means a lot to us, help us grow our community. We have new members joining every day because of our constant growing and just your support for helping us grow. So big thank you to that. And of course, if you want to know everything first, it's in our Discord. That's where we host all of our chats, all of our talks, and that's where we organize all of our events. So if you ever feel interested in competing with us or trying out for us, feel free to hit us up there in our Discord. And if you ever want to support us financially, we have a Teespring store with our merch at teespring.com/stores/adrenaline-racing-community. It has to be spelled exactly as shown. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, it's all there. It's all great quality stuff. I can vouch for it myself. They're just really comfortable. But ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our broadcast for today and this season. Once again, my name has been Lateral G. My co-commentator has been Mike Savoy. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us and allowing us to provide you with this racing, especially with everything that's happened so far in 2020. It means a lot to us that we were able to provide you this entertainment through these times. So once again, absolutely thank you for watching us and allowing us to perform and basically compete at this level in front of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will finish our broadcast. Once again, I've been Lateral G, and don't forget to keep racing. Thank you.